Let's see. Are we live? Let me give a listen and make sure. Let's see. Yep, we are live. All right. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to be going through the March 2019 No Calculator section in real time, live. Let me just make sure this timer's working. Start. Maybe. Maybe not. Okay. Let me think about that. I might have to reset and then go like this. Maybe. Maybe if I do this. Are you guys able to see? Probably. Maybe not. All right. Well, I guess that's just what we're going to do. All right. I'm going to, sorry about that. I'm going to start this in 3. All right. Well, I guess that's just what we're going to do. All right. I'm going. That was weird. 3, 2, 1. All right. Tony spends $80 per month on public transportation. A $10 ride pass costs $12.50, and a single ride pass costs $1.50. If G represents the number of 10 ride passes Tony buys in a month, then T represents the number of single ride passes Tony buys in a month. Which of the following best represents the relationship between G and T? All right. So I know that the total amount spent is going to equal $80. The total amount spent in 1 month. So this one's out because I don't see an $80 there, but these guys are still in, because they all equal 80. Okay. And then we said a 10 ride pass is G, so we'll mark G, and a single ride pass is T. So the 10 ride passes are $12.50, so it should be $12.50 G plus, let's see, $1.50 for the single ride pass T equals $80. So the cost of the 10 ride plus the cost of the 1 ride passes equals the total he spends every month, which should be D. In the equation above, T represents Brittany's total take-home pay in dollars for her first week of work, where H represents the number of hours she worked that week, and 1,000 represents a sign-on bonus. If Brittany's total take-home pay was $1,576, for how many hours was Brittany paid for her first week of work? All right, cool. So literally they tell us T represents Brittany's total take-home pay. And here they're telling us the take-home pay was $1,576, so just plug the $1,576 in to the take-home pay. So let's do that. $1,576 equals 1,000 plus 18H. Subtract 1,000 from both sides. Subtract 1,000. We get 576 equals 18H. And if you divide by 18 on both sides, we should get 32 for H. A clothing store is having a sale on shirts and pants. During the sale, the cost of each shirt is $15 and the cost of each pair of pants is $25. Geoff can spend at most $120 at the store. If Geoff buys S shirts and P pairs of pants, which of the following must be true? Okay, so whatever he spends must be less than or equal to $120 because that's the most he can spend. He can't spend any more. He can't go over his limit, right? So this guy is out because this is a greater than sign. So that's out. Let's see what else. And this one's out. Cool. Now we're down to a 50-50. And then we have, let's see, each shirt is $15. So we got 15S. And each pair of pants is 25. So plus 25P should be A. What is the solution to -3, blah, blah, blah? Okay, as soon as I see parentheses, distribute. So -3x plus 15 equals -2x plus 4. Don't forget to distribute that negative along with the 3. Then I'm going to go ahead and add 2x to both sides. So I get -x plus 15 equals 4. I'm going to subtract 15. So I get x is equal to 11. Not too bad so far. For the function f defined above, what is the value of f of -1? Okay, look at that. So -1 is where the x is supposed to be, so all we got to do is plug in -1 for x. So let's do that. So f of -1 is equal to -1 cubed plus 3 times -1 squared minus 6 times -1 minus 1. Cool. So -1 cubed is -1 times -1 times -1. So -1 times -1 is 1 times -1 again is -1. And then -1 squared is just going to become 1, so plus 3, because 3 times 1 is 3. And then -6 times -1, negative times a negative is a positive 6, minus 1. So we get -1 plus 3, which is 2, plus 6 is 8, minus 1 equals 7. Bam. Triangle ABC and triangle DEF are similar triangles where AB and DE are corresponding sides. If DE equals 2AB and the perimeter of triangle ABC is 20, what is the perimeter of triangle DEF? Okay, so let's go ahead and maybe draw some things out. That might help us. So maybe something like this, I don't know. We'll just pretend these are similar triangles for now. So this might be triangle ABC, and this might be triangle DEF, something like that. We know AB corresponds with DE, so this side and this side are corresponding sides. These are similar triangles. So the perimeter of triangle ABC is 20. So all these sides add to 20. Cool. DE is equal to 2AB. So let's see. DE is equal to 2 times AB. Meaning the DE is actually the longer side. So let's say we call AB X for now. We're not going to label these X, but if we call AB X, then DE, or I guess X, is equal to 2X, if that makes sense. Well, X is not equal to 2X. I guess that was a bad way of putting it, but here, let me explain. So if we know, let's say the side of DE is like 10. Well, AB is 2 times that, so, or is half of that, I guess, so it would be 5. Does that make sense? So 2 times AB, this is AB, remember, AB, 2AB is equal to DE. So 2 times 5 would be equal to 10 in this case. So if the perimeter of ABC is 20, then the perimeter of DEF must be 40 because each of the sides are also going to be 2 times by the scale factor. All right, there were no jackrabbits in Australia before 1788. When 24 jackrabbits were introduced by the 1920s, the population of jackrabbits had reached 10 billion. If the population had grown exponentially, this would correspond to a 16.2% increase on average in the population each year. Which of the following functions best models the population P of T of jackrabbits T years after 1788? Okay, so our starting value is 24 jackrabbits because they were introduced. That's the starting value, right? We're going to be using y equals a b to the x, the exponential function, where a is your starting value and b is your growth rate. So in this case, because we're increasing by 16.2, our growth rate is actually going to be 1.162 to the x, or to the t, I guess, in this case, because we're dealing with some time. And our starting value, again, was just going to be 24. So 24 times 1.162 to the t power, which looks to be, C. Which of the following is equivalent to the sum of blah, 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 blah? Okay, just add them up. So like terms, 3x to the fourth and 4x to the fourth becomes 7x to the fourth. 2x to the third and 7x to the third become 9x to the third. So it's D. The function f is defined by f of x equals x squared, and the function g is defined by g of x equals x squared plus 3. Which of the following translations of the graph of f in the xy plane results in the graph of g? Okay, well, if I were to graph x squared, it might look something like this, right? Oops. Might look something a little like this guy and maybe like this. It's going to go right on that. Kind of like this, maybe. Not the best drawing, but ooh. That was even worse, but let's just assume it's something like this. And we can kind of call this x squared plus 0, where 0 is kind of just our y-intercept in this case. So 3 here, if I plug in 0 for x, I'm going to get, let's see, g of 0 equals 0 squared plus 3, which is just 3. So I know that the y-intercept of g of x is 3, and nothing else changes. So if I make the y-intercept 3, what's that going to do? That's just going to shift my parabola upwards. So the answer should be B. A translation 3 units upward. Anytime you're just adding to a function, adding like a constant to a function, it's just going to shift it up for the most part. All right, in the figure above, segments AE and BD are parallel if the angle BDC measures 58 and angle ACE measures 62. What is the measure of angle CAE? Okay, so AE and BD are parallel, so these guys and these guys are parallel. Cool. If angle BDC is 58 and ACE measures 62, so AC, so this is 62. What is the measure of CAE? Let's see, CAE, so we need this guy. Okay, so we can actually figure out the angle of this guy by doing 180 minus 62 minus 58. So let's see, 58 plus 60 should be 118 plus 2, so 120. So then this is going to be a 60-degree angle right there. And then because these guys are actually, these lines are parallel, we can kind of extend them a little bit, and you can kind of see that this guy and this guy are actually going to be corresponding angles, meaning that this is also 60 degrees. Oceanographer, blah, 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 blah. I don't really care. I only care about this guy, actually. But notice the answer choices. The reason I cross all that out is because the answer choices are all P equals, P equals, P equals, P equals. What does that tell me? That tells me I'm just going to be solving for P, which is pretty easy. So I have S equals 3 over 2P, and I need P by itself. So I can just multiply by the reciprocal on both sides. 2 over 3 multiplied by 2 over 3 on this side. These 3's are going to cancel, and these 2's are going to cancel, and I just get 2 over 3 S equals P. Option A. Which of the following could be an equation for the graph shown in the xy plane above? All right, so there's two things we're going to need. We know this is a linear function, so we're going to be doing some sort of y equals mx plus b. We just need a slope, and we need a y-intercept. So let's figure those out. Y-intercept here is going to be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So A and D are out because those do not have y-intercepts of 4. Let's plug that into our function as well. So y equals mx plus 4. And then we got to look for the slope, which is just rise over run. But be careful because look at this one. This y-axis is going up by 1 each tick mark, and this x-axis is going up by 2 each tick mark. So be very careful. So we do rise over run. So we have a rise of 4, or negative 4, I guess, because remember, this is a negative slope. We don't want to get caught up. And then we have a run of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So we have negative 4 over 12, which is just rise over run. It's going to equal negative 1/3. So negative 1/3. So we got negative 1/3 x plus 4, which is going to be C. Triangle FGH is inscribed in the circle above. Arc FG is congruent to arc GH. So this guy and this guy are the same. The measure of angle G is 30. Boom, boom, boom. Cool. What is the measure of angle H? Okay, well, if this guy and this guy are the same, then this angle and this angle must also be the same. Because look at this. These angles actually create those arc measures, right? So if they're congruent, you can kind of see it here. If I highlight, kind of go like that. We create this I guess, sector. And with this angle over here, we kind of create this sector. And if they're congruent sectors, or I guess arc lengths, that means that the angles must also be congruent, meaning that this is actually an isosceles triangle. So this has to be 75, and this has to be 75, and these sides would also be the same. Not that that matters too much, but we know that it is going to be 75 for angle H. All right. Which of the following is equivalent to blah, 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 blah? All right, let's go ahead and... So I see in the answer choices we're dealing with fractional exponents. So let me change everything into a fractional exponent. So I got x squared plus 8x plus 16 all to the 1/4 power, right? The fourth root is going to be a 1/4 power. I know it might be blurry, but it is a 1/4 power. All right, now I'm going to deal with the inside a little bit. If I factor that inside, I'm going to get x plus 4 squared, right? That's a binomial expansion. That's the a squared plus 2ab plus b squared is equal to a plus b squared. In this case, our a is x and our b is 4. This is a good one to know, by the way. This is a pretty good one to know for the test. All right, so x plus 4, oops, I don't know why I put that squared on the inside. That should be on the outside. X plus 4 squared, all to the 1/4 power. When you have an exponent to an exponent, you multiply. So I get x plus 4 to the 2/4, which is equal to 1/2. So x plus 4 to the 1/2, which is option D. In the equation above, a and b are constants, and a is between 0 and b. Which of the following could represent the graph of the equation in the xy plane? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and actually solve for y here, because I like y equals mx plus b more than I like standard form. So let's see what I get here. I get y is equal to negative a over bx plus 1 if I solve for y. Okay, so I know my line is going to have a y-intercept of 1. This checks out. This does not check out. That's a bad y-intercept. That's a negative y-intercept. We don't like that. And then these guys check out as well. All right. We need b to be greater than a, but a to be greater than 0. So let's see what we can do. Let's take a look at the slope of this guy. The slope is going to be a negative 1. So it's basically like saying y equals negative 1 over 1x plus 1. And this is what we're comparing our new slope to. This is our new slope because I just figured it out. But let's see. Is b greater than a? Well, not necessarily. B and a are actually equal. This negative sign, remember, this comes with the original one, so you don't have to worry about it too much. We just need to make sure that b is greater than a, which in this case they're equal. So the answer is not a, because 1 is equal to 1. Let's take a look here. Rise over run, so we get a rise of negative 2 and a run of 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, not 2, 4. So the slope is going to be y equal, it's going to be negative 1/2 for that slope. And then x plus 1. And then let's see, is a greater, or is b greater than a? Well, yeah, because 2 is greater than 1. See, b has to be greater than a. So 2 has to be greater than 1, so the answer is option C. And then if you do this one, you'll see that a is actually greater than b, making that not the answer. All right, on to the free response. That was pretty good so far. Nothing too crazy. X plus x equals 9. What value of x satisfies the equation given? All right, so combine like terms. 2x equals 9. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. X equals 9 over 2. What is the solution to the equation above? All right. So I already noticed that I can factor an x minus 3 out of the top. So I get I can factor a 3 out. Sorry. I get a 3 times x minus 11. 11 over x minus 3. Hold on. No, I wanted to factor an 11 out. Sorry. I'm jumbling. 11 times x minus 3 over x minus 3. That's what I wanted to do. Equals x. I can just cancel these x minus 3s, right? Because look, if I distribute this 11 in, I'm just going to get the same thing I had up here, which is good because that means that I didn't necessarily change the inherent value of what I had. I just rearranged it a little bit. So I factored out the 11 because I noticed that 11 goes into 11x and it goes into negative 33. So pulled it out, cancel, 11 equals x. So the answer is 11. xy is a solution to the system of equations above. What is the value of 100x plus 40y? Gosh. Okay. So I am probably going to go with some elimination here. I'm going to multiply this bottom guy by 3 because I want to solve for x. So that's going to cancel my y. So I get 2x plus 3y equals 31. And on the bottom, I'm just going to multiply everything by 3. So 9x minus 3y equals 90. And then I'm going to go ahead and add down. We can add equations when we're in a system. So we got 90 plus 31 should be 121. These y's are going to cancel. And I get 11x equals 121. If I divide by 11 on both sides, I get x is equal to 11. Okay, I'm going to plug in 11 back in for x to solve for y. So I get 22, because 2 times 11, plus 3y is equal to 31. I'm going to subtract 22, and I get 3y is equal to, let's see, 31 minus 20 would be 11, minus 2 is 9, so y is 3. All right, y is equal to 3, x is 11. They want 100x plus 40y, so let's do 100 times 11, because that's our x, plus 40 times 3, that was a bad 3, which is our y. and we get 1100 plus 120, or 1 to 20. If t is greater than 0 and 3t squared minus 5 times 3t minus 14 equals 0, what is the value of t? Huh. All right. Well, that's doable. All we got to do is go ahead and kind of, I guess, simplify out a little bit. So 3t squared is actually going to become 9t squared because the squared goes to each the 3 and the t. Don't get confused and say this is 3t squared like this. It's not. It is 9t squared. So 9t squared minus 15t, right? Because that negative 5 times that 3t minus 14 is equal to 0. All right. Now we just got a factor. So I'm going to get a 3t and a 3t. And I'm going to get a, let's see, minus 2 and plus 7, I believe. Let's see, so we're going to get, oh no, did I do that wrong? Let's see, so we get 3t, 9t squared, and then plus 21t, minus 60. No, we did that right. All right, cool. I was just making sure. So that's the factored form, and then we want a value of t, so we can split these up and say, okay, well, 3t minus 2 equals 0, and 3t plus 7 equals 0. The reason that is because if this equals 0, then this whole thing's going to equal 0, but if this guy equals 0, then the whole thing's going to equal 0. So we set both of the factors equal to 0 and solved. So let's see, I add 2 to this side, so I get 2/3 equals t. And then I get, what's it called? Negative 7/3 equals t. But I think I accidentally reversed my factors. Let's see. So I just need to make sure that I multiplied everything out correctly because I don't want to have made a mistake. So I get 3t minus 2 and 3t plus 7. So 7 minus 14, 21, negative 6t. That's a t, and then 9t squared. So t squared minus 15t. Oops. That would have been a positive 15t. See, I did that wrong. Okay, so these guys got to be flipped. So it should be plus 2 and minus 7. All right, cool. So then I said equal to 0. Sorry about that. 3t minus 7 equals 0, and 3t plus 2 equals 0. All right, so if I add 7 and divide by 3, I get t is equal to 7/3. And here I get t is equal to negative 2/3. Which one of these do I pick? Well, if we look at the question, it tells us that t is greater than 0, so we can cancel out that negative answer and just say t is equal to 7/3. That should be your answer. All right, the function h is defined above where a, b, and c are integer constants. If the zeros of the function negative 5, 6, and 7, what is the value of c? All right, so the zeros of the function are negative 5, 6, and 7. Okay, which means that if we were to write our function in a different way, we could say that h of x is also equal to x plus 5, x minus 6, and x minus 7. Now if I set this equal to 0, because 0 is equal to x plus 5, x minus 6, x minus 7. And the reason I'm setting equal to 0 is to show you that basically the reason that these guys are your zeros is because if you plug them in, if we plug in negative 5, it's going to go here, negative 5 plus 5 is 0. It's going to make this whole thing 0. Same for 6 and same for 7. So we can write it out in factored form kind of like this, and then I'm actually just going to multiply, and we're going to see what I get because I need to find out what c is. So let's see. I get h of x is equal to, I'm going to do x plus 5 times x minus 6, which is going to be x squared minus x, and then minus 30. And then I'm going to do all this times x minus 7. So I'm going to do this and this. So x cubed minus 7x squared. And then I'm going to do negative x squared plus 7x. And then I'm going to multiply the 30 by the x. I'm just foiling here. So negative 30x. And then the negative 30 by the negative 70, which is plus 210. And we're looking for our c value, which is just the constant in the end. And if we see here, 210 is our constant. So the answer is 210. All right. Not too bad. Not too bad. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I am planning on posting a lot more now that we're kind of in that fall area where we need to, let me stop the timer, where we need to start grinding out a little bit and doing more and more practice tests for you guys. Let's see if I can, there you go. All right, cool. Yeah, just definitely going to be doing more practice tests for you guys, grinding a little bit more, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed.